Welcome to Bridget She Shed, and I'm Bridget. Today is Sunday, October 15th, 2023. How's everyone doing? I just have to say, happy fall, y'all. I know for many of you, the weather has started to change, and it's finally starting to cool off. Many of you are pulling out your sweaters. Those of you that live in the northern hemisphere are starting to pull out your sweaters and everything, and you're really embracing your fall. I am coming to you from Arizona, which is in the desert of the United States. And although it's fall feeling, what we like to call it, because yesterday it was 95. But we did see earlier in the week it was like down to in the 80s, 80, 85, which it starts getting around that temperature this time of year. So we call it fall. But there's a light breeze blowing. So it's really nice. It's not that intense, 100 and some odd degrees. So fall is here. Fall is in the air. And I am so happy that you are spending your time with me. Welcome if you are new to the channel. And thank you very much to those of you that are returning. Everyone, thank you so much for giving me your time. This is where I like to sit and just chat, or some may say ramble, over the things that I love to do relating to fiber. So I love to knit, crochet, sew, and lately I've learned how to quilt. So if you watched my last episode, which was a mini-sode that I did back on September 19th, and if you haven't seen it, you need to go back and watch it. But I introduced my new rabbit hole, which is quilting. Now, I learned how to sew around about the same time I learned how to knit and crochet. I was around 7, and I used to make all of my clothes and garments, oh my gosh, well into my adult life. And I kind of just fell out of the sewing thing. Maybe about 7 years or so back, I started making project bags for my knitting and crocheting, and that was, pretty much it. And I've always loved quilting. My grandmother used to quilt. I have fond memories of sitting there cutting out the squares for her to quilt, but she would hand quilt her squares and stuff together, and I remember doing that, but I never ever got into it. I have 2 wonderful friends that are, I call them the queen of quilters, and they're my QQs, and they do fabulous work. I've been the recipient of some beautiful quilt work, so I never really got into it. And then, I don't know, about a month or so ago, I was watching a podcast, a knitting podcast, and she's also a quilter, which I didn't know. Christian Lear, I believe, of Vine, and she pulled out where she was quilting, and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to try that. So I spoke to one of my QQs and told her that I was going to try quilting, and she so graciously sent me some fabric to quilt on, and we kind of did a little quilt along together as I was watching a tutorial on YouTube. Isn't YouTube wonderful? You can learn to do everything on YouTube. Anyway, long story short, I fell into quilting. Then I decided I really love how to do this, but I was having such a hard time with my old machine that I had. So the hubs went out and bought me a brand new machine, a new Juki TL15, and she's wonderful. Her name is Stella, and Stella and I, since the 19th of September, have been building our relationship. We've been getting to love one another, and this is definitely a love relationship. So far, I have not found anything about Stella that I hate. Stella is fast. She's a little finicky sometimes with certain things, but I'm learning. I'm learning how to handle her, so to speak. So she's like having a sports car, you know. Have to learn how to shift those gears just right, so and work that clutch. I know I'm getting off the topic, but anyway, I'm so excited. So I have some things to show you that I've been working on. I just want to take a moment just to state that there's a lot of things that's been happening in our world, happening here in our nation here in the United States, and across the world, that has a lot of us in a lot of different emotional states and health states. So my take on that is that I want everyone to please stay safe, stay healthy, do what you need to do to keep yourself in a good place. Okay? For me, that is sometimes turning off the news and getting into my crafting. And that helps me stay in a safe place within my mind, within my emotions, and what I need to do. So you do what you need to do to stay safe. But please, always, I want you to be healthy and to be safe. All right, so we don't want this to be too long. I'm so excited. I need to get right to it. Grab your sip, something to drink. I have my drink. Here it is. And this is pumpkin spice. Just kidding, it's wine. I wish it's water. But grab your pumpkin spice, your latte, your water, or your wine, and sit back and enjoy, or grab your knitting. Oh, I needed that. I'm so dry. Grab your knitting, grab your crocheting, or whatever it is, embroidery, whatever it is that you're doing, and sit back and enjoy this episode. I am wearing my t-shirt that says pumpkin spice and everything nice. Let's see if I can stand up. Pumpkin spice and everything nice. And this is the shirt that I bought from Hohi, Locatelli Hohi and Company, in order of her fall make-along that she has every year. I signed up for it. I have yet to start the project because I'm still having problems knitting with my shoulder. And I did see the doctor last week, and she says that it looks like I'm having some damage to my rotator cuff. So I will be going to physical therapy for that. So I don't have a whole lot of knitting because of that. For some reason, when I knit, it really, really irritates. But when I'm sewing, it doesn't seem to bother me. Go figure. I don't know. But anyway, what I have is I have a HFO, which is a half-finished object. I had signed up for a test knit, and it has since been released. I didn't meet the deadline. I needed to have one sock completed by the 24th of September, and I did. And I haven't made the second sock because, again, with my shoulder, and I've been busy playing with Stella. So this sock is the Weekend Socks collection by Northwoods Knit, which is Carly Perrins. There you go. And there are three, the pattern has 3 different socks. And I did this one here, which is the Sunday morning sock. And what I love about this pattern is that it comes in either toe up or cuff down. So she's making everyone happy, which I just love. So I did the cuff down on the Sunday morning sock. And it is a beautiful, beautiful sock. And here it is. I should have put it on a blocker, huh? That's what I meant to do, but oh well. So here's the sock here. And it has a beautiful like weave like pattern, which is really easy. It's a paid for pattern, so I can't really talk about how this is made, but if you're a beginner sock knitter, you can do this pattern. Very beginner friendly. And the you have just a rib, like I said, it's cuffed down, so which means you're going from the top down. So you have just some ribbing, and then you start in on the pattern. The heel is a heel flap and gusset heel turn, which her pattern explains step by step by step. Stitch counts, how many stitches you're supposed to have as you do each row. Very easy. And then it just came down to a round toe heel. What I really like is you've got this little ridge of garter stitches, actually purl stitches, not garter, but purl stitches right before you start your heel. And I thought that was kind of cute. So I followed the pattern. This is I made for a medium, and I used a pattern recommended a 2.5, and so I used the 2.5. It fits, but it's a little loose on me than what I would normally want, especially up around this area here. I normally knit my socks with a US 1 2.25, but I wanted to follow the pattern, and I was kind of concerned with the way this weave was being made, that it would draw in on the stitches and then I wouldn't be able to get it over my heel. So it is a little loose. This yarn, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, is so squishy and soft. So this came out more like, for me, like a house sock, rather than a sock that I can put in my shoe or in my boot, which is fine, because as it starts to get cold, I wear socks in the house, you know, all the time in my my Crocs and in my house slippers. So this would be, and to bed. So these will be a nice pair of socks to wear. When I make next pair, which I definitely will be making, I will drop down in my needle size to a 2.25, because I know I'm a loose knitter anyway. So yeah. So here we're going to go with the yarn. So the yarn that I used for the main color is this beautiful yarn here. And this yarn, I went to my stash. And this yarn is from Hypnotic Yarn as part of the Yarnable subscription box. And it is from September of 2022. And it is their Last S'more, Worry Less. And here it is. And I had just written on the side, so I know I always label it Yarnable. It's a great subscription. Go on. I always put the links to everything that I talk about in the description box. So here it is here. That way. And this is her plush sock, 85% superwash merino with 15% nylon, 437 yards, 100 grams. Oh my gosh, I love her yarn. It is so squishy. I was a subscriber for almost 3 years. This year I stopped all of my yarn subscriptions because I have so much yarn that I need to really, I can't knit it all. So I stopped it because I need to just start knitting from my stash. And I have so much, I love knitting socks. I have so much one skeins for socks that I need to do that. So that's the only reason why I stopped. But this is one of the best yarn subscriptions ever. So, and then the contrasting color is from one of my favorite indie dyers, and Whitney, the owner of Moonglow Yarns. And here it is. And this is the contrasting color. This is called Burnt Hollow. And it's hand dyed in Wyoming. And it is 437 yards. And it is, I believe it's a 75-25 merino, superwash merino nylon. But I had originally purchased this yarn, I think 2 years ago, to do the Stephen West MCAL, and that was the Shawlography. Whenever that one came out, I think that was 2 years ago. And this was one of the yarns. And I started the shawl, got into about clue 3 and decided that I didn't care for mysteries. And so I stopped. But, so I've never used the yarn. So this is the yarn from that. I do believe she still carries this colorway, but it is also plump and soft. So this is just one squishy, plump sock. Lingerie for your feet. Okay. And that is my only knit object that I have. So if you came for the knitting, that was it. But I do hope you'll stick around for the quilting. So those of you that are quilters. And I was surprised when I asked how many of you are quilters out there that were watching. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how many of you are quilters. Wow, I was overwhelmed. And with the advice, you guys, advice was so great. You guys told me, make sure you get a 1/4 inch pressure foot. I did. And just all the other tips, and with the rulers and all these other things. You guys were just so wonderful that I couldn't have done it, you know, without your advice. And please keep giving the advice, because I have some questions to pose that, you know, I'm getting overwhelmed with, you know, information. It's kind of like with knitting, you know. You got to be the boss of your knitting and your crocheting. You got to be the boss of your quilting too, you know. It's bottom line. So I'm not going to stress. All right. So my first, I have 4 finished quilting objects. So my first one is my very first quilt that I made. And like I said, my one of my quilting queens, my bestie friend, Christina, hey girl, sent me the, it's called a charm pack, which are 5-inch squares. And I did a patchwork quilt, and I found a pattern on a tutorial on YouTube, and I followed that tutorial, and here it is. And this is to go in my chair, so when I'm here, it's small, it's a lap size. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know why when I get in here I have wardrobe mishaps. Forgive me. So it's to go in my chair, so I'm sitting in my chair when I'm knitting or crocheting, and it gets a little cool, I can throw it over my legs. But here it is. Now I know you can't see the whole thing. I will put pictures at the end of the this video, montage of everything that I've made so far. But isn't it beautiful? I love the colors. Oh, there's a little piece of lamp. And it just matches the colors in the chair just beautifully. And the back is gray. It's pretty gray. And I'm so proud of myself. And then found another tutorial and I made a label. So here's my label. And you can see it. This is my first quilt, and it's called Reckless Abandonment, because that's what this was. This was total reckless abandonment. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it, okay? And with the date, and I did hand doodle, and I found a tutorial on, how to do hand doodles. I'm not an artist, and I made this, so I am so proud of myself. My machine does free motion quilting for you to, quilt all the beautiful designs and everything on it. It came with 2 different size free motion feet, and I'm practicing how to do that. That is definitely an art within itself. So right now I'm doing just straight line quilting, and I've been finding some different tutorials on YouTube to show different things that you can do with just straight line, just using your walking foot or even foot on there and making designs and using your straight lines. So I'm starting off with the basics, but that's my first quilt. The tutorial I watched was called My First Quilt, and let me just grab my journal. I have a quilting journal. So I got this journal from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I'll put that link down there, because I couldn't find anything like for knitting and crocheting. You have your Ravelry where you put your projects, and I couldn't find anything for quilting. So if you know of a online project format for quilting, please let me know. That's that's similar to Ravelry. So in it you have your list of projects that you want to work on. So I've already started a list, and then this will hold up to 50 projects. And what I like about it, you can put the project name, the designer, when you started, the size, any notes. And then what I've done is I've added a photo of my knit. So this was, again, this pattern name was, I just took the name from off of the YouTube tutorial, which was My First Quilt. And the podcaster that was doing the tutorial, her name is Melanie Ham. And I did not realize until when I was getting all of the series together that Ms. Ham has actually passed away a few years back. But her family has decided to keep her podcasts going and her blogs going so that you can still benefit from learning how to quilt, which is so beautiful. And it was kind of surreal watching this video when I started watching, knowing that this person, this spirit, this crafting spirit is no longer with us, but yet her spirit is still giving and adding to the crafting world. I'm being added into the crafting world, and she's influencing me, and she's no longer with us in body, but definitely in spirit. So I really appreciated that. It made this quilt even more special, So anyway, so I started it on September 9th, and I finished it on the 15th of September. And it is 31 inches by 35. So it's like a, I guess, kind of like a baby size, or yeah, like a baby size. But it's enough. I'm only 5'4", and I'm fudging at the 5'4", so it's enough to lay over my lap and make over and fall over my feet and keep my feet warm. Okay, so that is number one. All right, how y'all doing out there? Good. So I have the question about, is there a journal format like Ravelry? My next question is starching. To starch or not to starch? So if you're a quilter out there, I'm seeing conflicting things of supposed to starch your material before you start. It's no starching. It's very hard for me. And do you pre-wash or don't pre-wash? Coming from the sewing world, when you buy material, you wash your fabric first. But in the quilting world, I'm finding that 50-50. Don't wash, do wash. So I didn't wash anything first. Then I washed my quilt after I made it. So I'm just curious as to what do you all do? And about the whole, I never even thought about starching. It's like, I don't even starch my clothes. So I don't know if there's an advantage to that. All right, so the second thing that I made is a table runner for fall to go on my dining room table. And this is the squared away table runner. And it is a free pattern found on the Missouri Star Quilt Company's website. The Missouri Star Quilt Company and I have become very friendly. Okay, next to Amazon, yeah, I'm keeping them in business solely, just me. So yeah, if you're familiar with them, yeah, you know they have this daily deal thing. I hate to open up my emails because I see the daily deal and I put it in my cart, gotta buy it anyway. So this is, let's see if I can lift it up, the table runner. I'll do it this way. So this is one side of the table runner. Okay. And then this is the other side of the table runner. And again, I will have pictures at the end. And this is the back. Now I didn't put a label on this one. And I don't know, maybe I'll think about it, maybe I should. But anyway, all this fabric that I used came from Joann's. This was a autumn. Oh, I have it written down in my journal. Why don't I consult my journal? This was by Bloomville, and this was their autumn fall batik. And this table runner measures 16 inches by 57.5 inches. So it fits really nice on my dining room table for Thanksgiving. And it is a free pattern, which is nice. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Okay. All right. And then my next question I had was regarding thread. Okay. So as a sewer, I was told your thread content should match the fiber content of what you're sewing. So since I'm sewing cotton, my mind tells me I should be using cotton thread. So that's what I'm using. Is I'm using cotton thread, and I'm using Guterman's cotton thread. However, when I got my machine, it came with some polyester thread by a company called Glide. And when I spoke with the dealer that I bought my machine from, and that's the line of thread that they carry, and they says, yes, we've tested on Guterman's and on Aurifil, and we find that this Glide, the machine tends to work exceptionally well with the Glide. Well, the Glide is a polyester. I think it's a polyester blend, a polyester makeup thread. And so now I'm still continuing to use my Guterman's, but I just don't know. And they said the reason why is that the polyester thread doesn't leave lint, which can then build up in your machine. But I think if you keep your machine clean, it should be fine. So I don't know. And I always thought that, you know, polyester tends to cut, is tight, and it can cut over time, cut through your material. I could be wrong when it comes to quilting. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm asking you all, what's your opinion? What do you find? And I'll leave it at that. Okay. All right. So project number 3. Project number 3 is a pay-for pattern. Let me just get my little journal out. And it's a quilt. And oh, I didn't tell you on the table runner, I started that on September 20th and I finished it September 23rd. Okay. So now we're at the quilt. This is a pattern that I got from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. This is one of their patterns, I believe. And it is a paid-for pattern, and it's called the Beginner Star. So anything with the word beginners in it, I was grabbing it, okay? Because I am definitely a beginner. And this one's bigger. Okay, here we go. Let me just show you just like half of it. Ugh. All right. How does that look? Okay, and you see the stars? I hope you guys got a good look at that, okay? But it is so pretty, and it matches the table runner. Some of the same fabrics from the table runner are used in the quilt. And the back, I love dots. So this is the back. And then for the binding, what I decided to do was to make the binding strips out of each one of the fabrics that I used. So I made strips out of that. So the binding are all different strips. Little pieces of the squares. Okay. And then I did make a little label for this one. And it's heavy. It's big. This one is oh, I did not put the size down. I can't believe it. It's 49.5 by 49.5. I'll have to add that in here because I remember it was the same size. And this is what's called a 9 patch, because you've got nine patches across that make up a block. Here we go. So 3, 6, 9. That's the block. So this is called a 9 patch. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Give me time. I'm getting it. I'm getting the lingo. And it's heavy and it's warm. So I can't wait to snuggle up with this. So right now it's laying on the couch in the great room. So I think the hubs and I will be fighting over who gets to lay underneath this. But it definitely, I can cover up in this one. And actually the hubs can too. The hubs is almost 6 feet. So he can lay it like in across his midsection, and it'll go down to his legs. But I'm so excited. Okay, so that is that. Now my fourth project that I have made, it's very special to me. And I'm making this for my sister for her birthday. Her birthday is on the 21st. This is my oldest sister. My big sis, her birthday was in August, and you all saw the tank that I knitted for her. And then my biggest sister, or my biggest sis, my oldest sister, her birthday is on the 21st. And last year I made both my mom and my sister's cardigans for their birthday. So this year my oldest sister's getting something different since I'm going down a new rabbit hole. She's getting a quilt. And the fabrics that I use, also, again, the fabrics that I used from the other quilt, again, they came from Joann's. The fabrics that I used in this quilt also came from Joann's. And in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and in honor of Alzheimer's, which is a purple, that's what's intertwined into this quilt for special reasons. So anyway, this is called the Labyrinth, and it's a paid for pattern. And this pattern comes in 4 different sizes. You get a lap size, you get a twin, you get a queen, and you get a king. So I made the lap size, and it came out to 55 by 55. And I started it October 7th, and I finished it on the 11th. Here we go. Ready? Again, I do hope you stick around and, you know, fast forward over to look at the pictures that I'll put at the end to give it more justice. But here it is. It is huge. I tell you, it wraps me up entirely in it. So I love the border, which are butterflies and flowers. Again, this print here is for a special print from Joann's for breast cancer awareness. Here's the purple border here that I put in for Alzheimer's. Let's see. The daisies are also from the collection, the breast cancer collection, as well as this pink tonal. And then my favorite is the back. And here's the back. And they're roses, and this is from the breast cancer collection, awareness collection. And then the binding that I used is just a light lilac binding. And there is a label, but this label is special. And I won't show it to you, but I hope that every time my sister puts this around her, she will know that I am giving her a great big hug. All right. So this I'm boxing up to put in the mail so that she can have it, that it will arrive in time for her birthday. Okay, let's see. All right. What do I have? Oh. All right. The next thing that I have is I'm so spoiled. I go to my mailbox and there is this big box in there, and I'm like, okay, I know I ordered some stuff, but I wasn't expecting it to come that soon. And I flip over and go, oh, this is from one of my QQs. This is from Queen Quilter Christina. And I open it up, and inside is this beautiful yarn carrier. Look at that. This is the strap. She made this. This is quilted. I'm going to open it in a minute. Look at that. Look at the grommets. Oh, ta-da! Look at these zippers. So zipper opens, and then inside, it's all quilted in my favorite color, purple. And she even sent me yarn in my favorite colors. And this is some red heart, which I love red heart, and I already know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to make a Afghan with these and incorporate these colors in. I have some others already that I was already thinking about using to make an Afghan with, so these will work perfectly for that. But isn't this beautiful? And then she sent me another item that she handmade, which I told her she needs to have this patented. And it's a binding holder. So when I'm quilting and you make your binding, your strips of binding and wrap it around it. So she made me, I'm pretty sure, out of some cardboard that she had. And it's a binding holder. I told her she should patent this and she could sell this, you know? But make it out of, out of some plastic or something. And yeah. So that was my surprise gift. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And it's got straps. And this is going to be so neat. I'm so excited, so happy. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I tell you, I have been sending her emails, text messages, pictures, questions, and she's been just so gracious in answering them. And I have another friend that's also been doing the same thing, and I'm not sure if I can she wants me to mention her name or not. I have to ask her on the podcast, but she's been right there with me, encouraging me, saying you can do this, you can do this. And you know what, and that's what we need to do. That's what I want this channel to be about, is about encouraging one another, that you can do this with your crafting, whether you're new and doing it for 1,000 years. You can do this, you can learn something new. It's not hard, it's just new. And I got that from Earth Tone Girls, Denise. It's not hard, it's just new. And yeah, so that's all I really have for today. Like I said, I don't have any knitting today to share with you all, but if you all are going to Rhinebeck, have fun. Let me know how it was. Put in the comments if you're going to Rhinebeck. Have you made a special garment for Rhinebeck? If so, please share in the comments. What else do they have besides Rhinebeck? You've got Woolen Folk, Cake Palooza. So all those good things coming up. Or if you've been to some other fiber festival, or you're doing something else, please share in the comments. I love reading comments, and I love responding to the comments. I feel like you're taking me along with your journey when you comment. And any other comments that you may have, about quilting, things that I need to know, or can direct me to, different websites on things. I really appreciate that. Thank you so very, very much. Again, please stay for the collection of photos of the quilts on parade. That's what I should name this. And please enjoy your fall season. I probably won't do another podcast before Halloween, maybe before Thanksgiving. But if I don't, please be safe. Oh, to those of you that are from my Canadian viewers, happy belated Thanksgiving. I believe your Thanksgiving was like around October 8th or something like that. So happy belated Thanksgiving. So those of us here in the U.S. that will be celebrating Thanksgiving in November, happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day, and please enjoy yourselves. Please be safe. Please be well. Best of blessings to everyone. And thank you so much for joining me. Bye for now.